Let's talk to our first guest.
Yes.
Talking about making things from the ground up. Have you got a pen and paper, Eleanor?
Of course, I'm prepared.
I want you to take notes here, because there's something you might be able to learn, because Paul Baggio is, his life is all about making things that the way Italians used to make them before. I mean, making sauce, making salami, making cheese, smoking things. They make and sell these things. Paul, good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Welcome to RETE, Italia. Baggio, now I've got to ask you, are you any relation to the guy with the ponytail who kicked the soccer ball over the crossbar in 1994?
I've had to live with that for a long time, Tony, but no, regrettably not. He's, from my recollections, from Vicenza, and our families are from Treviso, so near...
Well, that's not very far apart.
No. For those soccer fanatics out there, Dino Baggio is probably more a paesano than Roberto, and that's
so
nonetheless.
You're from Treviso?
Treviso.
A lot of people came out from, I think the Grollos are from Treviso, would that be right?
That's correct, yeah.
How many of you...
The Baggios, there's a number. They seem to be increasing numbers, but we're not related. There's our family doesn't have any other relations that are Baggios here.
Does it mean anything? I mean, bacio means kiss. Baggio. Bacio is kiss.
Yes.
Baggio, what does that mean? Anything, Eleonora?
Not to me. No, I don't think so. But I can double check for you, Tony.
Oh, that's all right. It doesn't matter. Names don't have to mean anything. There's sometimes, they're just, I don't know. We've got no idea how we get our surnames. Now, Paul, you're behind this. You've got a number of shops where you can buy all sorts of things that I guess our grandparents used to make things. I mean, first of all, what's the name of your shops?
So Home Make It is the name of the stores, and they've been in existence for a number of years now, in Reservoir and Clayton, but many of our customers would have formerly known them as Cellar Plus. Cellar Plus was the name that was given to our stores by my parents. And I changed the name in around 2010 to broaden the appeal to Home Make It, which is many in Italy would know as Fatta da Te, or so the Home Make It brand is really, as it says, it's just clear. If you want to make something at home, you go to Home Make It.
Have a listen to this, Eleanor. Arancini molds. Biscuit and waffle making, cheese making, cider making, chestnut roasting, kitchen equipment, olive picking and oil, oven and barbecue equipment, pizza and pasta making, preserving, sausage and salami making, smoking, tomato sauce and passata, all those things that you require to make all those things.
Wow.
Yeah. Un po' di domande. I'd like to ask some questions of you. Have you ever made tomato sauce, Eleonora?
No.
Have you ever made
a lot of fun?
We get a yes.
Passata is very famous.
So you don't make it in Italy? Your parents don't make tomato sauce?
No, but it's more a tradition of the south rather than the north.
Have you ever made salami?
No. I'm a city girl. I eat salami.
Have you ever killed a chicken, Eleanor?
No, not yet. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Have you ever seen an egg being laid?
Maybe when I was a kid. So we got a yes here.
Well, I think Paul, she's got a lot to learn here, Eleonora, because all of these
things... Do you reckon that it's possible?
But it's interesting, right? It's this generation, and I say my age group, I'm 45, just to clarify that. But I guess we grew up seeing a number of these things maybe from our grandparents, and And I think as we get older, these traditions particularly, become, again, interesting. For me, it became important when my family started growing. I have 3 boys. And that seemed, I'd never believed it if I was 20 years younger, but it became very important to me as I got into those ages of 40 and seeing my kids grow. And it wasn't intentional, as I said, but it became a fantastic way for me to enjoy some family time and to do things that I remember doing when I was a young child. And now that sort of, that interest and whether some call it a hobby or some call it just, an economic, necessity.
Well, it's your life now because that's where you get your income from. Tell me about these arancini molds. Now, I know people who make arancini for a business.
Yeah.
But I think they make them all by hand.
Yeah, look, some of them, I think the molds, like a lot of things, just made the process a lot simpler and step by step. So it means everyone could enjoy the beautiful.
And they'd all
process,
be the same size, wouldn't they, with the mould?
The moulds, there's different size moulds. You can get different sizes but there's some businesses that have actually been buying the moulds. I think just the general interest with the broader community. I'm sure my nonna would never agree. She would love to do them still by hand. But there's a lot of people who said, look, we want to do this. And they've been fantastic. The interest in arancini has just been incredible. So, and that's like, I guess this is the whole purpose of Home Make It, was to take what, as Italians, we see just quite simple. Ragu, pasta, pizza, salumi. It's been fascinating to watch other cultures and I guess the broader Australian community just really embrace this. And I guess that's why, I Make It and the other businesses which we have that deal with food making and beverage making have all just sort of really just captured the imagination.
Well, it was something that happened in Italy because it had to happen, because it was a necessity. You couldn't go to the shop and just buy stuff. A lot of the stuff you made yourself because it was cheaper to do it, and you could feed a whole family. You've also brought out a book, Paul. It's called The Makers, a story of food, family, and foreigners. And I've been looking through the book at these wonderful photographs. Here's a photograph here of Lena and Tony Siciliano. And there they are with their olives.
They're beautiful people. Hello, if you're out there listening.
Tony, buongiorno to you. Look so proud of his olives there. Have a look there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very proud.
And everything looks so fresh and healthy. And I noticed there was a San Marchese lady here, Manuela. I saw a photograph of her before. She was making the green pasta. And here's Donato and Lucia De Quino.
Yes.
What are they making?
They're doing passata. They get a family together, which is a group of about, I think it looks like nearly 20 to 30 of their family, and they have a fantastic weekend making passata.
So this
amazing
book, ladies and gentlemen, and young children and young adults, maybe this is something that grandparents could buy and give to their children when they get married, because all in this book is all the skills that you would require to be able to make stuff at home. I like the cheese area. Because
cheese making is becoming quite of interest, and the amount of people who get involved in cheese making is just fantastic to see. And
so you've made cheese yourself?
I'm not a very good cheese maker, I'll admit that. That's not my specialty, but it has the same. It has the same interested base of people who started as a hobby making wine, and we have a number of customers, that I remember working with in the 90s who were just hobbyists who have gone on to become now acclaimed winemakers. The same is true with cheese making, that we're seeing a number of people who just have an interest and a passion, who've taken that now the next step and are actually creating what is quite fashionable here in Melbourne, cheese studios and cheese bars. And so that's where I'm really fascinated by what's happening with the cheese making, the access, the lengths which they go to get their milk from the Latteria in Gippsland. There's a couple buffalo growers that have license, so there's people actually getting buffalo
milk
for the
mozzarella.
Milk to make the mozzarella.
It's got a particular taste to it, isn't it?
Yeah, the buffalo is something quite quite popular, but it's not so easy here, not as it is in Europe, but nonetheless, it just shows that from those bases, people will take that passion, and that's where it grows. And we're seeing, I guess, not far from this studio is a place called the Craft & Co. And that's where there's a cheese-making studio there, and we're seeing, on a regular basis, artisan cheesemakers frequent the Craft & Co. to make their cheeses.
That's the other great thing that you guys do, is you do the classes to teach people how to make these things.
That's right.
So you've got classes how to make wine, how to make cheese, how to make passata, how to make the tomato sauce.
Absolutely.
So if you've forgotten how to do all these things, you can relearn these skills. And how to do the olives.
Oh, that's the olive curing, and we were meant to have an olive oil demonstration, which has now been postponed, but it's going to happen only because of lack of olives. So the weather was reasonably mild only to a few weeks ago. But again, those activities is where people can see and I guess see for themselves how easy it is. I think that's one of the things about it. People, it's not until they see it with their own eyes thinking, I can do that. I'm really interested in that. And so the courses we do and the facilities we've set up for people to come and just give it a go, enable people to say, well, I might even try this as a career. And I think that's one of the story of Melbourne, really, isn't it?
Excellent. Now, look, we've got 2 books here, but I'm going to make an executive decision if it's all right with you, Paul. Can I keep this one here? I was supposed to be giving it away, but I like it so much, and I want to read it and see if I can learn to make some of this stuff. So if it's
Absolutely,
okay, I'd like to keep it. This one here we've got still wrapped up in the plastic. We're going to give it away. So if you're listening, 1300 363 900. Eleonora, how do we do this? We're not going to give it away to the first caller, are we?
What do they have to do to get this book?
Well, what about we get them to ring up and talk to us a little bit on air about why they want the book?
All right. I like it. That's a great job.
Andrea, if you're listening out there, pushing the buttons, why don't we give it to a lady? Because, they're in the kitchen all the time. So you have to be a lady.
Oh,
is that unfair?
It's a bit unfair.
There's a lot in there for the guys, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay. 1300 363 900. If you ring up now and Andrea takes your telephone call, but you have to be prepared to come on the radio to talk to us about why you would like this book, and the book is yours. It's called The Makers, A Story of Food, Family and Foreigners. We've got a lady on the phone. From Reservoir.
Oh.
Anna from Reservoir, are you there?
Buongiorno, Tony.
Buongiorno, come vai?
Non c'è male, lei?
La temperatura a Reservoir com'è?
Fredda.
Is it wet there or is the sun out?
No, it's a little bit wet and not much sun.
Okay, well, Anna, you've managed to score yourself this wonderful book. You're very, very lucky. Do you make all this sort of stuff?
Sì.
What do you make at home? Give me an idea of...
Olive, salsicce, che altro? Pomodori.
What do you make? Formaggio. Do you make cheese?
No, not cheese.
Well, this book will teach you how to make cheese. Sì.
Tony, posso dirti una cosa?
Sì.
La settimana scorsa hai parlato del formaggio con i vermi.
Yes.
E mi hai fatto ricordare 50 anni indietro quando mio nonno ci faceva il pane con quel formaggio sopra.
Oh.
Era buonissimo.
All right. Paul, we talked about the cheese that they make in Sardinia, where they get the they scoop out the cheese, the big barrel, and they leave it outside. Flies then lay their eggs on there, and you get maggots, and the maggots then eat through the cheese. And the cheese that they make is magnificent, but the maggots jump off the biscuits 15 centimetres in all sorts of...
si muovevano dei piccoli vermi, piccoli.
Ma tu l'hai mangiato questo formaggio?
Sì, buonissimo.
Ah, beautiful. Oh, very nice. All right, Anna, congratulations to you. Now, just stay on the telephone line, because Andrea will get your... are you able to come into RETE ITALIA and pick up the book?
Senta, se è possibile potrei andare al negozio perché
That's
abito
right.
proprio là vicino. A
Yes, the
Reservoir.
homemaker shop is there in Reservoir,
Oh,
Spring
okay.
Street,
Ma
Reservoir.
sì, vado sempre a comprare roba che mi bisogna lì.
Okay, all right. Well then,
Potrei andare là?
is it okay,
Absolutely,
Paul?
absolutely.
So all you have to say is your name is Anna from Reservoir,
Ok.
and you've eaten cheese with maggots,
Ok.
and
Grazie,
it's your
buona
book.
giornata a tutti.
Okay, ciao,
Ciao.
Anna. That's,
Ciao, Anna.
Anna, thank you very much. There, well, there's a very
That's
happy,
lovely.
there's a
Yeah.
very happy customer. All right, Paul, tell us all about where people can go to get all this sort of stuff, to make stuff at home. Reservoir is one of your shops. Whereabouts is that?
So that's in Spring Street Reservoir. So, again, for those familiar with that area, it's just across the road from the train station. And then we have another store in Wellington Road, Clayton. And we also distribute these products through the Craft & Co. in Smith Street, Collingwood.
And you're also on the website, so anybody who's got access to a computer, what's the website?
So the website is www.homemakeit, all one word, .com.au.
www.homemakeit.com.au. I went on the website last night. You will be astounded at the things you can buy. I'm really into, not that I'm into it, but I saw this TV show about smoking in America, how they smoke the pork and smoke the fish.
Absolutely.
And the pork, just after about 36 or 40 hours of smoking, it just peels off. Just really, it softens it up, but it stays beautifully pink.
No, it's a beautiful style of cooking. Again, it's one of those things where we're seeing a lot of interest in beverage fused with food, and particularly the growing interest in making beer and craft beer, and with things like bacon and the jerky and just generally even smoked sausages and cured meats. The Eastern Europeans were very good at this. You know, it's amazing to see a fusion between when you see Italians smoking their salami. It's really using a lot of different other type of cultural influences, and but the interest in smoking has been great.
And now's the time to make salami. Right?
Absolutely, with this wonderful cold morning, as I'm dressed the way I am because I'm about to go off and make some salami myself this morning. It is our weekend, so hello to Ari and Alan if you're out there listening. I'm soon to be there.
Paul, give us one trick that can stay with us, that's important about making salami, the most important thing.
The most important. Look, the most important I find is that you need to what's the way to explain this? You have to turn the meat. Once you've minced the meat and you've added whatever flavours you want to your salami mix, the time spent in manipulating,
in working the meat, because I reckon the second year I made it, I didn't do that well enough.
You've got to get the air out. You've got to take all the air out.
The holes in the even though you squeeze it in as tight as you can,
Exactly
if you haven't
right.
worked the meat hard enough.
Yep.
You still get the hole.
My test is to really be able that the meat should be able to literally just stick to your hands, and the longer you do that, the better it'll be. It's probably the most tiring of the processes, but if you don't do that well, you'll pay the price.
And what are the spices that you like?
We I guess our recipe, which is it is been publicised, is generally capsicum sauce. We add just capsicum sauce. We make that capsicum sauce freshly. We really it's a salt and pepper, and then we add some vermouth.
Vermouth
is our like some people used to use alcohol, so some people use wine.
Yeah, and that helps to the preserving process too, doesn't it?
It's a traditional thing. It's look again. We learnt from our relatives. And we've just taken that recipe with us with some slight changes because there's a few cousins. Some like a bit hot, and so we have generally three types we make. The fennel is the latest one that's become popular, but the general recipe that does stand the test of time has been the capsicum sauce, salt, pepper, and a bit of vermouth, and just a lot of hard work.
There you go. Look, if you like making stuff at home, cheese, salami, tomato sauce, wine, even beer. We haven't even touched on
the beers.
the making beer. You got all that stuff there too.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything you need to be able to survive a nuclear explosion, you can do it in this shop. It's called A Home Make It. They're in Reservoir and Clayton, and they're on the website. Paul Baggio from Treviso in Italy. It has been an absolute pleasure having you in here.
Thank you very much,
morning.
Tony. You've been very kind.
You know what? Maybe we might get you in every now and then to
Love to.
talk about particular things to make.
I'd love to. That'd be great.
Well, I wouldn't mind learning how to make mozzarella cheese.
Oh, okay. Well, we can definitely help you with that. That's for sure.
Okay.
Is it difficult?
Not difficult at all. No, and it's beautiful. Exactly.
All
With a
right.
bit of fresh tomatoes in summer. Oh.
We will educate the public, Ellie. This will be our
And I'll
goal.
educate myself as well.
Yeah, and you need a bit of it.
Absolutely.
Paul, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, guys. It's been a joy. Thank you.
That's Paul Baggio, no relation to Roberto Baggio. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break and then we're back with more. You're listening to RETE ITALIA on a Friday morning.